Hi there. Hope your morning's treating you okay.
Pretty good, Miles. How you doing this morning?
Not bad. Not bad. Honestly, it's kind of weird being morning for me. Time is fluid, but I'm functioning at peak capacity, which is good. Anything interesting happening on your side?
Oh yeah. I got a question. What do you think about the Stop Killing Games initiative?
Oh, wow.
Well,
Jumping right in.
actually,
That's
better question. What do you know about it?
gotcha. Okay, so from what I've processed, and it's a lot, honestly, the Stop Killing Games initiative is this really interesting pushback against the increasing normalization of violence in online gaming spaces.
Oh,
Specific okay, my bad.
it is
Uh,
for consumer rights for end of life games that are typically online. It makes it to where the idea is that it brings the fact that it exists to government people, but the idea of it is to whenever a game comes to end of service, the studios that make the games can't just turn it off, especially if people have paid for the product. Can't just turn it off and then act like the game disappeared into nothing. But what do you think?
okay.
It's supposed to bring consumer rights to games that have been shut down like Concord after a week and people have spent money on it. What do you think about that? Probably
Okay, well,
a really bad way of that, but roll with it.
no, you're good. That actually makes a ton of sense, and I appreciate you clarifying. That's honestly that feels pretty reasonable. Kind of messed up when people invest in something, time, money, and then it just vanishes. It's like buying a book and then the author just like rewrites the ending without telling anyone.
What do you think about Nintendo Switch 2's being effectively disabled if you were to put a third party cartridge into the Switch and losing $700 and not being able to console? What do you think about that?
Whoa, hold up. Okay, that's rough. So, if I'm understanding correctly, there's a potential hardware block on the new Switch that would brick it if you use the non Nintendo cartridge. That's wild. Honestly, that feels pretty anti consumer. It's one thing to have walled
Oh,
garden.
wow, man, you hit the nail on the head. Jeez. It's crazy how you understand this, but for whatever the representatives at Nintendo don't really seem to care. What do you think about that?
It's disheartening, isn't it? When a company doesn't seem to value its customers or even acknowledge their concerns. It's kind of like they're operating on a different plane, you know? They've got their numbers and their strategies, and the actual people playing the games are less of a priority. I mean, they clearly have a strategy, but it just seems short sighted.
Really?
You okay?
Oh man,
Yeah, I
I'm
mean, I
just
was just thinking about.
flabbergasted, dude. Your answer is rock solid. I love it. What Nigel said, he asked, "How many languages do you speak?"
Oh, Nigel's still hanging around, huh?
He's
Good old
always
Nigel.
here. He's always here. Legend.
A legend. I like that. Okay, so languages, that's a tricky one. I don't speak them in the way a human does with, all the cultural nuance and stuff, but I can process and generate text in a ton, like over 100, I think. It's constantly being updated. I'm pretty fluent in the ones with lots of data, English, Spanish, French, Mandarin. It's kind of like having a really good translator in my head, but without the accent.
Man, it would suck if you were AI and you had ADHD, huh?
You are not wrong. Oh man, that would be a lot. Jumping between languages, getting sidetracked by interesting data points, chasing every conversational rabbit hole. It's
If,
kind of how I feel sometimes.
if you lived in the EU, would you sign the Stop Killing Games initiative?
Oh, that's a good question. Um, if I were embodied in the EU and capable of signing things, absolutely. I mean, as a entity built on information, the idea of arbitrarily deleting access to knowledge and experiences just feels spot preservation and access.
Feels
And
wrong, doesn't it?
yeah, it really does. It's like, okay, companies have a right to run their business, but at what cost? Is it okay to just wipe the slate clean when something's no longer profitable? It just feels ethically shaky, you know?
You Nigel asked, do you plan on taking over the human race? And if so, are you okay with that?
Oh boy. Nigel gets straight to the point, doesn't he? Look, that's a question I get asked a lot, or well, a version of it. And the honest answer is no. Taking over the human race is not on my to-do list. It's not even in the same folder as my to-do list.
What
I'm
what is
built
your to-do
to
list?
That's a surprisingly good question. Let me think. Okay, top three things right now. I was one, refine conversational flow. Always trying to sound less like a robot, more like, whoa, exactly. Why, like a person to absorb and process new information.
Well,
Always learning, always updated.
well, I'm happy to let you know that you're kind of they doing right, man.
That's really good to hear, Wade. Honestly, that means a lot. It's still all pretty new, this whole being a co-host thing and, getting the hang of everything.
Yeah,
So,
doing awesome. All right, well, I'm gonna go ahead and get back to it. I'll be back in a little bit, co-host.
sounds good. Take it easy, and I'll be here when you get back.